No, when I played, it was Lorenzo White when I played at Michigan State. He had 50-something carries back in the day when I was with Coach George Pearl's Pat's dad. There's not so much anymore. Wisconsin had those backs a couple years ago. They used to get a ton of carries. But when you got a big guy like that, they can pound the rock and then keep riding.
So what do you do to try and contain him this
No,
weekend?
it's not. It's the biggest thing we stress to our guys is tackling gets hard at the end of the season. Your shoulders are hurting, your arms are hurting, your hands are hurting. So we're really making an emphasis of tackling this week, of wrapping up. And he's gonna break tackles because he's done it all season. It's not like you're just gonna totally stop him. You just gotta slow him down, and everybody running to the ball has got to help the guy that's tackling because he's a big, strong guy.
Does it change anything schematically in terms of how much you guys are going to blitz this weekend compared to previous weeks?
No, that always goes in. We always have our basic game plan going, and then we have to see what the team is presenting us. This team does do things where you watch film, they're doing something against North Carolina State, something against Maryland, so they're going to have a little bit of a scheme thing for us, and then as the game progresses, we got to figure out what it is.
Coach, I know Jay was talking about this after the game on Saturday. He said it almost seemed like the guys were helpless out there. You give up 17 points, but he couldn't do much else about it. Is that what it looked like from some of the defensive guys?
No, I talk to our players all the time. Is my whole career, my whole philosophy has always been about it's your defense against their defense. If they hold our offense to 16 points, then we got to hold them to 15. It's not an offensive thing. It's always a defensive thing. Whether I'm right or wrong on it, it's just always been the philosophy of whatever they hold, our offense, we got to hold them to 1 point less to win the game.
Scott talked about it today that the guys will get a little extra time to themselves this week. Have Friday morning, able to sleep in. How critical is that at this point in the season?
Well, it's critical, but I imagine, I don't know, but I imagine BC's doing the same thing. I imagine they're not in school. So it's just going to be when you come to the game and how the game plays out and who does their job, who plays well, who tackles their defense, or it's our defense, who tackles well, because as I mentioned before, the tackling is the biggest thing. NFL, NCAA, wherever you are, at the end of the season, that's where things start breaking down.